Nice to meet you, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Nice to meet you guys. I've tried to do this a couple of times with the real coach JB. Just like everybody else in the world, I watched him on Last Chance U, and a buddy of mine is a producer for Netflix. So he was the one who turned me on to the show. So I got to watch him, and he has an aggressive coaching style, which I like, right? I'm more the smiling guy. If you watch my social media, he's more of the FU guy.
I'm more the smiling guy as well, but like you always respect and appreciate, the balance, and you need that. You know what I mean?
Hey, Chris, there's no way you're the president, though, when you haven't dropped a few F-bombs on a couple colleagues.
Like all the time. I did
exactly
about 2.5 minutes ago when my coffee machine wasn't working. Yeah.
Yeah, are you in a trailer? Where you at? Do you guys travel? Do you travel with your guys, or what? How does it work?
Yeah, so I'm actually at our office. I'm at my office right now, and right back here is a bar because every now and then you need it. And we have a like a boardroom right behind there. So my office is multi-use. But yeah, so we go to Phoenix, Arizona, last race of the year. The trailers with the cars have already left. They left last night. So they'll be there probably Thursday if everything goes well. Let's pray everything.
And then they're going to Phoenix from where?
From Welcome, North Carolina. So Winston-Salem, Charlotte, we're kind of right in the middle.
So where's the race at? Phoenix,
Arizona. So you know where the Arizona football stadium's at? All of my team stays right beside it. All those hotels right beside it. So it's in Goodyear. So it's kind of in the desert, man.
About 45 minutes. Yeah. Are you there?
No. I will be there this weekend, but I'm at the office right now. You want to go?
You're going to be there, though.
Yep. You want to go?
I'll be there, actually.
No, you won't. Will you really?
I won't be at the race, but I can be there. But, I'll be with my buddy Pat Perez, who lives in Scottsdale. I'll be there for a week.
Well, you and him ought to come to the race. I'll set you up with some pit passes on Sunday or Saturday. We have 5 NASCAR teams, 3 in Xfinity, 2 in Cup. Set you up with some pit passes and let you come see what NASCAR is all about.
Ooh. Hey, let's do it. What day's the race? Saturday?
Saturday or Sunday.
But thank you. Look, my man knows racing. He knows NASCAR, man.
He don't know. All right, so here, Chris, we get a little into this thing now. So I've had a NFL legend, Penn State legend named Tyoka Jackson. He's been on the show several times. Good friend of mine. He has come on. Bailey, can we show the video real quick, the intro video that we have of that? Because Tyoka wanted me to make sure Chris saw the video. And we've had it out, Chris. All right. Listen to this intro here. I'll play it.
Let me ask you this. This is a totally different subject because I'm sitting there watching this NASCAR and I've had this conversation with multiple people. NASCAR drivers, athletes or no?
Yes, this is why. Now, I define an athlete by a cat that looks decent shooting a jumper, that has a natural golf swing, that can bowl a strike, that can throw a football, that can get on the bench and hit 225. Like, I look at a guy and define him as that. Like, I can do all those things. I know you.
All that.
Pat McAfee, you could tell Pat McAfee when he was a kicker in the NFL, but you could tell he could do all those things I just mentioned.
Agreed.
And people don't know. Some guys get out and be a stiff, horrible-looking golf club. Like these are they're good as an O lineman, but then are nothing else, right? Or whatever you want to. Anyone like that. I define athletes that way that can play anything, even like shoot some pool or anything, any sport they're good at. I think that's the great athlete. So this is why I say this. I've got to know some NASCAR drivers. From what they have told me and what I've heard, is they do not recover in between races because of how bad their body gets beat up from race to race. They never recover fully. Kind of like football. We don't get the soreness out for 3-4 days.
Right.
They don't ever get it out between races.
Right.
Like they get banged up. It is a collision sport. So football and NASCAR were the only two, by definition, collision sports in the world. Hockey, basketball, and baseball considered contact.
Contact, right.
So football no longer is collision, in my opinion. What's your take on it?
I'm with you on that. So my take is, if you're going to call race car drivers athletes, tell me the athletic movement they're performing while doing their sport.
Gas, clutch, brake, shift.
That's not an athletic movement. I mean, look, let's be honest. You got 16-year-old kids on the street right now doing it. I mean, highly skilled, great hand-eye coordination, balls, fearlessness, toughness, have to be in some sort of physical shape to go through the entire NASCAR season, right? And circuit, all of that. What's the athletic movement of turning left? Again, if they're
all right, Chris,
I'm ready.
Yeah, okay.
Here's my take. Here's my thing. Like, he says that a fighter jet should be considered the greatest athlete in the world. Then, if we're going to consider a NASCAR driver an athlete because of the torque and the movements and all those things, which I think define it. He says, no, the car does the work and the person in there is just basically driving it. He also said I asked him if a jockey was an athlete, and he said, no, the horse does the work. Where are you at with this?
So we fight this battle a lot, okay? And we have ex-NFL players that's on our pit crew, and you can ask any one of them how hard it is to be a NASCAR driver, pit crew member, and a crew member. But let me explain to him, and I want you to send him this. What athlete sustains 150 beats a minute in their heart for 4 hours?
None of them. None of them.
None of them. They get to have a break. They get a timeout, please. Timeout. Baseball players get 7 innings. Oh, well, now let's take a break. Let's take 30 minutes and sing a song. Come on. Which athlete does that? I agree that people are going to say the race car does the job, but if we don't have a great race car driver, we're not a great race team. So Matt Collier is our owner. He played at Akron University. He was a quarterback at Akron University years ago. So I'll tell you like this, and I hear you. I watch your show a lot. We talk about quarterbacks, and I love watching football. I'm a big football fan. Elon head coach is one of my best friends. And I got to stand on the sideline lately and watch him and Wake Forest play and stuff like that. I'll tell you this. If you don't have a great quarterback to lead your team, you don't have a team. If we don't have a great race car driver, we don't have a team. And that race car driver is athletic. Now, they might not be able to dribble a basketball. They might not be able to throw a baseball. But they sit in a race car for 4 hours. Let me get my camera. 4 hours, 150 beats per minute. End of conversation. I'll leave it alone.
That's a lot of calories being burned.
During the summer, 140 degrees in there with a helmet on.
Tight space.
Does that make him an athlete, though? I guess.
What the hell does it make him?
Perseverance.
No, see to me, and I said this to Tioka. I think there's a difference between being an athlete and being athletic. To me, it's a difference. To me, all baseball players, in my opinion, not all of them, are necessarily like super athletic, but they're obviously athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference between the both, and all the reasons that you listed, and even the same thing that JB said, because JB and I, for the most part, agree on this. The focus, the attention to detail, the hand-eye coordination, the calories being burnt during the duration of it, the mental fortitude that you have to have during the race, and the all the intangibles that you don't think about. To me, that makes you an athlete. It's more than just how high can you jump and how fast can you run. You know what I'm saying? I get what Toga is saying. Yeah. Like the car is quote unquote doing the work technically, right? I get that. So maybe they're not the most athletic, but they're still athletes, and I think there's a difference.
How sore are you, Chris, when you get out of this thing after 500 miles?
Very, very. So the problem is so you're, and I want you to come to the race on Sunday or Saturday, either one. Sunday would be great. It's a championship race, so it's going to be big, lots of people, lots of stuff going on. And you can leave before the end of the race, so you're going to get caught in traffic. I want you to see how they're strapped in, okay? And I'm going to send you a video once we get done. I'll text it to you. of a guy hitting the wall. And I want you to watch his neck. I just want you to watch his neck in this video. When I send you this video, I text it to you. I want you to watch it. I don't want you to repost it because it is pretty graphic. So my point, and when we say an athlete, and I played football, I was a defensive lineman is the only reason I got to play.
So is my co-host.
Yeah. Three technique.
Yeah.
Ball State, baby. Chirp, chirp.
I played it in high school, and I was just fat, and I was big. I could fill up 2 spaces, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't consider myself an athlete, but I played football. Like, I played football because I was fat. I was a great big guy, like a huge guy, and I could fill up 2 spaces. So it was like we had 12 men on the field.
Right.
So that's my point. Everybody can't jump in a race car and sit in there for 4 hours at 150 rate heartbeat at 110 to 140 degrees. If you don't call those guys athletes, man, I don't know how you can call a guy that gets a timeout and only plays a sport for 2 hours. They don't have a timeout because when they come down pit road, coach, they got to focus on, okay, we can only run 50 miles an hour. I got to pull in my pit stall. I got to hold my brakes. You know, the guys that we get from NFL, I got, man, you remember the kid that, I think he was at Penn State and his heart quit working.
This story sounds familiar.
It was a big deal before LeBron's kid went through this. God, I can't think of his name. He's our pit crew. He's on our pit crew now. And I was talking to him about that. He said that they do a 10-second stop on Sundays if it's a good stop. He said the 10 seconds to do a pit stop versus a whole series is way tougher because of the mental and what you got to do. This is pit crew. This ain't driver. But the driver has the same thing. So I get why people don't believe that they're athlete because I'll take him and I'll put him in a ride-along car and let's ask him when he gets done. Let's ask him, does the guy driving this car at 190 mile an hour, is he an athlete? I rode in an Indy car in Indianapolis. It scared the living shit out of me. Like, I'm telling you, I'm like, nope, never again. I'm out. Get me out.
Yeah. I've never done it, but I'm born and raised from Indianapolis, Indiana, man. So I never had a chance to go in those cars. It might be a weight limit, too. I might be too big to get in there. I'm like 260 soaking wet. I'm bigger than you. I think I'm bigger than you.
All right. Well, you look smaller. Your head's smaller than mine. I got a big old forehead. You know what I mean?
I'm real lean. You know what I mean? I'm big, but I'm lean. I'm everything is just right there with it. So
I got him. I've never seen him speechless. I got him speechless right now. I've never seen him speechless. I love it.
Hey, Chris, I got to ask you. So you're not going to like this speech that comes out of my mouth.
I was prepared when I decided to come on the show.
This week's deal in Phoenix, I'm going to try to come as, no doubt, me and Pat Perez, pro golfer. I'm going to text him right after this and say, let's go. We'll drink a few Cincoros and, we'll head over there.
I collect bourbon, so I'll bring you some of my bourbon. I collect it. I don't drink it. I'll bring you some.
Oh, shit. Let's do it.
Cigars.
So you guys unfortunately, this year don't have any, I guess the Final Four, you don't have one of your guys' team members in it. The Final Four is this Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Christopher Bell. Who's going to win this thing?
Ryan Blaney will probably be your favorite. They've been really good right now. But Kyle Larson is on our Chevy. They're on our Chevy side. So in Cup, it's kind of I want to explain it the best way I can. So we're only in our second year. We bought some charters. You have to buy a charter. We have a businessman as an owner, and it's really, really tough to go and beat the top dogs. Now in Xfinity, which is one class down, which is not like college football because an NFL player can't come and play in college, but in NASCAR, the guy that runs in Cup can come and run in Xfinity. So it's a little different. It's a little tougher. In Xfinity, we're one of those top teams. We're one of the top Chevys. We're one of the top people, and we've been in the Final Four 2 out of the last 4 years. So we are one of those teams. So, but this weekend, if you're looking at who the favorites are, man, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, here's a stop, man. Good job, guys. Good job. So, but you're looking at Ryan Blaney is going to be really, really good. And Kyle Larson to me will probably be the favorite.
Gotcha.
We didn't run good at all in that race. That was Martinsville. We didn't run good at all. We won 3 weeks ago at the Roval in Charlotte. We beat all the guys. We beat all the big teams. AJ Allmendinger won, and I don't have a trophy sitting in here, but that was a highlight. We've been in the sport 2 years. We've been in Cup full time. We bought 2 charters 2 years ago. We've won one race, and we were the fastest NASCAR team to win in Cup. We won our 7th race in Cup.
I'm gonna have a full on. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a threesome; it'd be a 4-way, and that's just what she said. But I'm gonna tell you something. So Bernard Pollard, who I've had on this show a few times,
He's met me.
I know he is a full on. Him and Tayoka go at it too. He's on your side. He played in the NFL Super Bowl champ. He's been on my show a few times. Good friend. So I got to have him, Tayoka, and you on here later on in the year. We got to do it.
Let's go.
I think Tayoka's going to be in for it. He's gonna be in here scrapping and clawing to get his way out because I think it's all of us. Like I'm torn because I think you could have some mental toughness, some tough skin, some fortitude, get knocked down, get back up mentality, and make this thing work with a finite skill set as you guys all have, and not be considered I don't know. I mean, you're not going to put your guys on a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan type of pedestal, but it's a finite skill, right? In your profession, like Aaron Rodgers ain't going to jump in your car and he ain't going to do it right now anyway, but he ain't going to jump in your car and do what he does. And either, is Kyle Larson going to jump in and throw for 300? So right. I don't know. It's a balance.
Also, though, one thing that we're not considering, and I would love to hear this from you, Chris, is the preparation before the race. Like, can you kind of lean into like what are some of the routines that some of your drivers do in terms of like working out or just body maintenance? I'm assuming there has to be some type of preparation to prepare for that strenuous race.
And that I work out every day, and I post it a lot and show a lot because of my fitness. Because of that, behind that, these guys jump in saunas. They work out and they do eye-hand coordination a lot. Those where you're hitting the dots and stuff like that, which is super tough. And I think
D-line.
Yeah, I think these guys, they do it every day. So we'll race on Sunday. They'll take the next week off just because we're done. And also what you got to remember too, it is the longest professional sport in the world. Like we go from 1st of February to the 2nd week in November most of the time. And we only get 2 weeks off, right? Like, so you don't get to see, these are all our drivers. That was part of our driver lineup at Martinsville. And these are Cup cars here that you're watching right now. So the Cup cars are the top of the top. And then you have Xfinity, which that's an Xfinity car, which is probably just as hard as the Cup cars. It's just a shorter race. So they sit in the car 2.5 hours to 3 hours, where Cup guys, man, we have a Coca-Cola 600. I see it's on your shirt, Coke. We have a Coca-Cola 600 that is almost 6 hours long. Like, okay, well, the next question is, well, where do they pee at? Well, they don't, because they sweat so much they don't have to pee, right? Like, ooh. But the preparation is massive, man. Like, and the only day they normally get off is a Thursday. And it's just like anything, man. It's, when you get football ready or you get the football legs, and Coach, you've watched this numerous times when they come back after they've been gone and you got training camps and their football, they have jelly legs. They don't have football legs. By the end of the season, dude, you can beat those guys up so hard. Like right now, I think about this a lot because I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Yep, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. But you know what? You have zero expectations when you're a Cleveland Browns fan. None, zero. Right. But I think about that because they don't have the temperature and everything changes so much at the Browns or a place like that to where when you play inside, like Minnesota or somewhere like that, you almost can train year round for that your home games. Now, I know you don't have all home games, but even like Green Bay, man, I think about that. Race car drivers, they don't have a race car to sit in that they can train on. They sit in these simulators. You talk to Bernard, he loves playing iRacing. And if you ever want to iRace, I'll bring you here to Lexington, North Carolina. I put you on a simulator, and I bet when you get off, you're either sick or you're like, oh my God, this is big.
I gotta try it. I'm coming Sunday or Saturday, one of these days. So what's the difference between Saturday and Sunday this week?
It's the championship is on Sunday, man. Saturdays is the previous round. You got to start watching racing, JB. I'm trying to bring you in.
Yeah.
They have a championship Friday night for the trucks, Saturday for Xfinity cars, and Sunday for Cup cars. So the difference is on Saturday, it's leading up to the big show. Big show, JB, big show. You should change it. Anyway, so it's leading up to the big show. It's kind of like college game day or college on Saturday. It's like it's leading up to the show. And on Sunday, you have the big show. We're the second most watched sport in America and third most watched sport, I think, in the world now. So, but you look at it, the other sports that beat us has games played everywhere, right? We only have one game, basically. We have one game, the Phoenix, Arizona at 1:00 in the afternoon is our only game that people can watch. They can't watch a game at 1:00 or 4 games at 1:00, then some at 4:25, and then one at 8:00, and then one on Monday. So we kind of that's a one game that you get, and it's Sunday. It's gonna be massive.
It's an event.
It's an event. We have tailgaters, JB. We have tailgaters that are already there. It's such a big deal that they're already there. They put up this thing, First Camper. We have a partner, Campers Inn RV. So if you need an RV, go to Campers Inn RV and get you one. But like these guys go and they go buy their campers because they're on our race cars. Man, they are so loyal to our sport, and that's what we love about it.
Nah, it's exciting. I know I've watched it, and I've always wanted to go to a NASCAR. I've been to one Indy event, Long Beach Grand Prix. It's like the smaller version of the Indianapolis 500, obviously, in Long Beach, where I'm from, and I've been there. It gives you chills when they rip that corner. So I got to come check it out, man. I'm in. I had to have you on about this athlete thing, and I'm like, we got to go back, take this video back to Tioka, and let him know I'm sending Bernard. I got to do it.
Guess what we have? If you come on Saturday or Sunday, we have cigars. Okay, so we already have that. So we literally could host you. Yep, we could host you and show you what it's all about. You can spend a couple hours, get out of there before the traffic, or you can stay and watch the whole thing. Sit up on a pit box. You might even have some players that are pit crew members. You might have some ex-players that are pit crew members. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'll guarantee you, 80% of the pit crew is either ex-NFL players or baseball players. They'll know exactly who you are for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to try to come for sure. Me and Pat and I are going to come, man, and we got to do it because I'll be there all week, and shoot, it's going to be fun. I think it'll be fun. Smitty can't come because this is WPS. We got a segment, and this is, we call this white people shit. And he does black people shit, and I told him Bernard Pollard's all in on this.
It's a lot of black people who's into racing now. I'm part of the crew. Come on now. I'm from Indianapolis. I just came in Arizona this weekend. I didn't, Pat Perez didn't invite me, so I can't make it out there.
Are you in Indy right now?
No, I'm in LA now. I'm in LA.
So it's 6:55 there. I have a question. Do you guys live on East Coast time or do you live on West Coast time?
No, we live on West Coast time. I'm the first thing smoking in the morning, so we can beat. So I get that East Coast audience, and it's been our best niche for the most part. As far as our ratings and numbers. So I started about a year ago going early in the morning. I was used to go in the afternoon, but so right at 9 a.m. my time, 9 noon your time, Pat McAfee show comes on, which he's the biggest thing going. So he'll be on at 12. So we beat his show. In the morning, we come on before him and then transitions to him. And then there's other people that are on, but we're the first early live 3-hour, show. So
let's talk about football. You want my opinion on football?
Yeah, please do.
That's what my next question is right now. You out there in North Carolina, I know Smitty is eager to ask you. I know you guys are MAC guys, and his alma mater, Ball State, plays tonight.
We're ACC. We're ACC.
Oh, no, you are, but you played in the MAC, right?
No, we've always been ACC here.
No, where did you play at?
Oh, I didn't make it to college. I could have made it to college. I played high school.
You said your friend was the head coach at Akron, or the
Elon,
owner.
right? Elon, North Carolina. A guy named Tony Trisciani is the head coach. They play in the CAA.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
now the owner of Colleague is what?
Matt Colleague. He was the quarterback at Akron, and they play in the MAC. I do believe.
Yeah, that is the MAC. That's where I got the MAC from. I knew I was like, damn, am I going crazy? That's who used to beat up on Smitty and Ball State. That's what I was figuring out.
We used to beat up on Akron when I was at Ball State.
Everybody right now is beating up on Akron, so that is not something to brag about.
But you say you're a Cleveland Browns fans, though, so we got to talk about the Browns, JB. I mean, what's going on? Like, how this team, you got a serious defense. I think Myles Garrett is making a case for Defensive Player of the Year the way he's playing right now. Your offense has been struggling. Deshaun Watson's in one game, out the other. He has a shoulder injury. I don't know who's your quarterback. Like, how serious is this year's Cleveland Browns team in your eyes?
Well, I think it's a normal Cleveland Browns year. You fire off and you do good, and you don't really know who your quarterback's going to be. Man, our running back getting hurt was a big deal, right? That was sad.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing that we can draw talent, that the Browns can draw talent to come to the Browns after people like that get hurt, and man, we've been struggling, or the Browns been struggling in quarterback spot for a long time. And like I said, you got to have an A1 quarterback. And when we got Deshaun Watson, man, he was already in trouble. So his mind was here. He couldn't work out. He couldn't work out with the team. And now he's been hurt with his shoulder. And I mean, I tell Matt this all the time. I'm like, dude, let's put in a 4th round quarterback, because it looks like we can win with like that dude that's playing for Chicago Bears right now. He is
Tyson Bagent.
And see, I'm terrible with names. Okay,
you good.
I'm horrible, but I know what I'm watching. That's about it. So, like, the kicker on the Chicago Bears is a friend of mine. He come from NC State, Trent Gill. Yeah, I think that's right. But anyway, so I'm watching this and I'm thinking, let's go get him. Like, he has a chip on his shoulder to go and do well because didn't nobody draft him. He threw 159 touchdown passes. Like, I don't know. That's hard to do. I don't care unless the team just quit on the other side.
He's all-time NCAA record holder.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. I got a question for you that's kind of both here. So when you're picking a driver, all right, you're going to find that driver. Does it correlate to this question? Is it like finding the quarterback?
1,000%.
Really? So 1,000%. Are you going through a process of, like, what is it? Process of elimination, or is it a pool? How do you find your next guy that has the it factor? That's the guy.
And see, it's just like you would do when you would go and recruit. So 2 weeks after the season's over, I'm going to be at a late model race, which is a real low class race, to watch these drivers from start to finish. So I'll spend 3 days I'll take my motorhome and I'll spend 3 days watching these kids. Okay. Now they need some funding to go NASCAR racing. I'm not going to lie. They have to have funding, but I'll watch these kids. And then after that, 2 more weeks later, I'll go to another one. So when the season's over, I'm trying to find talent, even talent to work on these things, to be able to work on the cars. It's not just talent as far as racing, but it is exactly like my daughter went to college to play softball and my youngest went to college to play basketball. It's just like AAU basketball, or it's just like playing, travel softball. Like, I mean, it's the same thing. You go to these places to watch them, and these, like, as you as a coach, when you were there, the parents was like, hey, Coach JB's here. He's over there watching X. Like, our kid needs to do good. He might like our kid. And that's the way my kids made it, was by a coach coming to watch another kid that was an A1 kid. My kids made it because they had stellar games every time that coach showed up. That's the same thing we do, just like what you do for quarterbacks. Now, the NFL is probably different. They probably have people they send out and they to come back and get them. But in our case, Matt Colleague's put a lot of trust into me and to go find these drivers. And we've done good with a guy named AJ Allmendinger, older guy, just like Aaron Rodgers. I consider him an Aaron Rodgers. He's the world's greatest, in my opinion, road course racer. He will go in the Hall of Fame for how many road course races he's won. And then we've had Justin Haley. We've had Daniel Hemrick. We've had this kid, Chandler Smith, that is moving on next year. So, like, we've had good kids and good drivers in here because we recruited them. Now, again, they have to, in our sport, they have to have a little bit of funding to where like in football, they do also, they got to be able to travel. They got to be able to do things, but they don't need the money to go play.
Can you cut a guy? Like, let's say your driver is in a rut. Is he contractually obligated on your team, or can you go find a new guy, or how's that work? If you're unhappy with a guy and you're the team boss and you're the president and we're losing and I got to figure this shit out. It's on my ass. You're like the GM of an NFL team, or are you like the head coach of the team? What are you?
So it's both. I don't know how the GM and head coach work together in a football team. Like I would love to understand that and know that. But it's like in NASCAR, it's both. So Matt and I work together. Matt's the owner, probably like just like an NFL owner, but I run the team as a GM. Then we have what we call crew chiefs that are probably the coaches over those teams. So it all feeds like this, it all feeds up to the top basically. And so we can't cut them during the middle of the year. But if that's Matt Collick there. So if we have a driver that is, unhappy or whatever, we can let them out of their contract. We just did that with Chandler Smith. So we can do exactly like what they do for the trade, right? And it's just like pit crew members. Every one of these guys that you see on this picture here are under contract. The guy coming around the car played for the Rams when they won his Super Bowl with the jack in his hand. He was a defensive line. I know he was a linebacker. He didn't start, but he came in second hand or whatever. But all these guys are under contract. And if those guys are not doing good, coach, we can cut them. We can put them on the bench immediately. We have done that. We've done that this year with one of our pit crew members. He had to go on the bench. Well, we actually done it with 4. Just because they wasn't having a good year. They might get hurt. Something might happen to them. The pit crew is just like football, just like baseball, just like basketball. They are benchable players, I guess is the easiest way to put it. Now, they don't want to be. And, dude, it is broke down if you go back and look at that picture of that pit stop, and you see, I want to show you something that is just, all right, you see that guy holding a jack at the front of the car.
Yeah.
Big, long dreadlocks. Look how close he is to the car without touching it. He is trying to cut his steps down. So basically, if he can get one less step, that's speed. But look how leaned over he is. Think about what's going on with his knees and everything else to just get around and jack that car. Like that is a massive. That's a great picture because of the way he's leaned over, and you can see how he's just trying to make a big step right there. And when you come to the race, you'll be breaking it down because I know you're mine. I'll set you up on that pit box where you just seen that picture. And you'll be sitting up there. I don't know if you take notes or whatever, but you'll probably be trying to break it down. Now, they can get faster if they do this or they do that.
Really?
I mean, listen, I got a former college teammate, my guy Ian Anderson. He's a guy from North Carolina. I think he works at Joe Gibbs Racing, if I'm not mistaken. He's part of the pit crew. When we were in college, he was strong as an ox. I was really strong, too. Ian was stronger than me. Bench 500, squat 600, power clean 385. Real country guy, dip in the mouth. He's lost some weight now because he's doing the pit crew. I think it's with Joe Gibbs Racing, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a guy who's, I see video and pictures of him running around. So you have to be athletic. You have to be strong. You got to be focused to be able to be a part of that pit crew for sure.
Ian pitted for me.
Stop playing.
He did. Yep. He used to work for Petty, and he pitted for me for a couple of years. Good guy.
That's my guy, man. Hey, cut this clip off so I can send it to my guy, Ian, man. Shout out to my brother, Ian. I ain't seen you in years, man. I'm glad to see you doing good, my guy.
Hey, Chris, man, I can't thank you enough. We got to do this again, man. I'm definitely coming Sunday or maybe both days if you can get me both.
I'll get you both. You got my cell number. Just text me.
All right, definitely.
Well, I'll send it to you again. Just text me.
I can't thank you enough. Let's do it again, and I'll see you
because I might got some business opportunities for you in the next year. I'm serious, man.
You want to drive, Rice? You want to drive?
Yeah,
I can dip. I can whip it, but I don't know. I'd rather I just want to motherfuck somebody.
Coach, you whip like this. You got to be driving like this.
Look, JB be like this.
See, in his caddy with his dogs.
That's right. That's right, brother. Yeah. That's right. Hey, man, you're a cool dude. I appreciate you. Let's do it again. I'll see you this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Thank y'all. Have fun.
All right, brother.